right, oddly horrific fam. Buckle up, because I Know What You Did Last Summer just dropped, and there's a lot to talk about. This legacy sequel tries to do the impossible and revive a long-dormant franchise. Blend slasher nostalgia with Gen Z aesthetics. Honor the original while dragging it into the TikTok era. The result? Well, yeah. It's uneven, tonally all over the place, kinda dumb but also surprisingly fun. Gory, watchable, and absolutely stuffed with insane creative choices that'll leave you either cheering or yelling at your screen. So enough chit-chat, we are breaking down the massive twist ending, and yes, we're talking about that final double killer reveal and the post-credit scene that shamelessly tees up a whole new sequel and franchise. So if you just watched the movie and you're thinking, wait, what the hell just happened? You're in the right place. Let's break this thing down. Okay, horror freaks, before we get to the crazy ending, let's make sure we are all on the same page. Our lead Ava returns to her coastal hometown for a 4th of July party. She's joined by a group of very TikTok core friends, Danica, Milo, and Teddy, and eventually their mysterious new friend Stevie. Careful with her. And of course, this is I Know What You Did Last Summer, so it's accident time. They hit a man with their car. However, unlike the original 1997 film where the teens were responsible and the group made a clear, pretty bad choice to cover it up, this version? I don't know. It feels different. Teddy's high as hell and maybe he would have been an issue here. But the rest of the group, they literally try to call the cops. So the whole moral dilemma, it feels kind of weak. There's guilt, sure, but no real accountability. But hey, come on, I don't want to just be a massive hater. Let's talk about the best part of this movie. Danica. Madeline Klein absolutely eats in this role. She's a TikTok Gen Z girl boss written by someone who actually gets it. Stylish, messy, funny, and thank God never cringe. And if that wasn't enough, Helen freaking Shivers. Yes! Sarah Michelle Gellar's iconic final girl gets a subtle cameo. She appears in a flashback as a cautionary tale, but the visual language is clear. It's a passing of the torch. Helen was the best thing in the original. Danica is the best thing in this one. Legacy status approved. So, you know the deal. Blood starts spilling. Tensions boil. The Fisherman is back. And this all leads us straight to the boat and to the twist ending. So let's break down that massive ending. Yes, we finally learn who's behind the hook, or at least who first picked it up. Stevie. Oh yeah, the former friend turned resentful outsider is the first fisherman, and honestly, this reveal kinda worked for me. It makes sense as Stevie felt abandoned. She was with Sam, the man who died in the crash. She wasn't part of the core friend group anymore. She wasn't even supposed to be there that night. She hitched a ride last minute, so when the accident happens and she finds out Sam's the victim, the rage actually feels earned, in a camp 90s slasher kinda way. She's not just copying the original killer's hook shtick, she's doing it as vengeance for a relationship nobody knew about. Her motive is deeply personal, but also twisted by grief. So far, so good, right? And then Ray shows up, Ray Bronson, as in Freddie Prinze Jr. Ray, Julie's ex, original survivor, one of the final two from the 1997 film. And he's the second killer. Yeah, they went there. As Ava starts piecing things together back on his boat, we realize he's been in on this the entire time. Stevie wasn't working alone. So let's talk about it because this is where the fan base might split in two. The movie claims he snapped that the events of the first film were never fully dealt with, and that seeing a new generation mock, forget, or even commodify those events pushed him over the edge. Campfire stories, podcast episodes. So in his eyes, he becomes a fisherman. Not for revenge, but for legacy. To remember what happened. And yeah, I don't know, is that smart, bold storytelling or a massive swing and a miss? Ray being a killer is bold, no doubt, but it's also risky. The movie assumes there's a big enough fandom who will care about this twist, that we're emotionally invested in Ray as a legacy character. But are we? Do people even like Ray enough for this to hit? If anything, it might just leave fans pissed. Not shocked, just kind of betrayed, and not in a fun Scream 4 way. Let's be real, it's a big swing. And while I'll give the movie credit for not playing it safe, I don't think it earns this twist. It's not foreshadowed in a way that deepens the story. It's more of a jaw-drop reveal for the sake of having one. But hey, none of that really matters, does it? Because Danica lives. And thank God for that. She's stabbed, thrown overboard, presumed dead. but she washes up on the beach like a true final girl and gets her last little moment with Ava. Madeline Klein, I love you. Yeah, folks, they went full franchise mode. We've got ourselves a post-credit scene. So after the dust settles, after Ray's been harpooned, after Ava and Danica have their little beachside trauma bonding moment, we cut to another legacy character. Brandy's back, baby. She's chilling at home, watching the news with her husband, when the report comes in. The Southport murders, Ray Bronson dead, multiple bodies, a missing suspect still at large. And then Julie shows up and she's got a message. It's not over. Sequel's in the air, ladies and gentlemen. Like, nobody asked for an I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel, but Sony kept these movies tight, fun, and low budget. But fuck, they might gaslight this into being a full-on horror franchise revival. It's a bit cringe, yeah, but you know we'll all be watching the next one. So yeah, that's your full breakdown. Fisherman, Final Girls, Legacy Twists, Podcast Girl Hangings, and more harpoon kills than anyone expected. But now it's time for the only rating that matters. The oddly horrific stamp of judgment. And I gotta be honest, I had a lot of issues with this movie, man. This film does not know who it's for. It's chasing old school slasher fans by dragging Julie and Ray back. But then it's also chasing TikTok era Gen Z with slang heavy dialogue and influencer vibes and self-aware trauma jokes. You've got moments that feel like a CW soap. Then scenes that are straight up brutal, and in between, legacy monologues that grind the second act to a halt. It's too long. A tight 90 minutes would have been perfect. Instead, it kind of limps through its setup before finally popping off in Act 3. But, and it's a big but, I still had fun. There's a confidence to how this thing moves once it gets going. The gore is nasty. The kills are top tier for this franchise. And say what you want about the tone. It looks like a proper late 90s, early 2000s slasher. The director? Yeah, they just get it. But if 3 out of 5 gets you a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, then I'm giving I Know What You Did Last Summer a solid 3.1 fish hooks out of 5. And that's it, OH Nash. If you made it this far, you're the real final girl. Smash that sub button, throw us a like, and drop your hot take below. Did Ray's twist ruin the movie for you? Are you here for the Karla and Julie team up sequel? Did you love Danica like the rest of us? For more horror breakdowns, more endings explained. We've got so much great horror content on this channel, so have a look around. Thanks for watching, and remember, I know what you did last summer, you dirty bastard.